Yes. Well, the Alpha, which GM has all these names for their platforms. Kappa, Delta. What are some other ones? Zeta, and all that. So this Alpha one, which I think I had heard of, but I haven't heard of in a while. Nobody's talked about it in a while. It's basically a smaller rear-wheel drive platform than the Zeta, but it's a little bigger than the Kappa. And it is going to be the basis of a lot of new GM cars in the very near future. The first of which is a new Pontiac G6, or a successor to the current front-wheel drive G6. And what's that based on, the current front-wheel drive? Is that Epsilon 2?
That's not Epsilon 2. It's one of the current Epsilon flavors.
Okay. So, somewhat older chassis. Anyway, the successor is going to be rear-wheel drive. It's going to be based on this upcoming Alpha platform, which is awesome. Great news. The Cadillac BLS sedan, which is currently only sold in Europe, and that is built on the Epsilon 2, I believe, with the Saab and all the rest.
No, I don't think Epsilon 2 is out. I think Epsilon 2 is that Opal.
Oh, so we're just talking Epsilon 1?
There's Epsilon and the extended X.
Okay, yeah. So then it's just on an Epsilon platform with a Saab. It's built in the same factory as a Saab. Anyway, Cadillac BLS has sold horribly in Europe. So far, its successor will be rear-wheel drive, and supposedly, according to Inside Line, will also be sold to the U.S. As a car that slots in under the CTS. So we'll get a smaller Caddy rear-wheel drive, which would be nice.
Why would Caddy make another move down the market like that?
I don't think you have to see it as a move down market. Just like you don't have to see the BMW 1 Series as a move down market. If it's still a Cadillac, if it still has all the traits that
if it has the interior, if it has the performance.
Yeah, and it's just smaller.
But Cadillac hasn't had those traits for a while, though, have they?
I think
they're getting better about it. I think they're well on the way.
Yeah, I'd say they're well on the way, too. But, there is the danger of not making a Cimarron or a...
They will never make a Cimarron.
What was the Cadillac that zigged? I forget.
The Catera, which that was an Opal. I forget which Opal that was.
And that wasn't bad. You can get a good Catera in good condition and be very happy. I used one. It just did not fit.
I think there's two Cateras in my office parking lot, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't a horrible... It was like the Pontiac GTO.
The early Catera looked terrible. The later ones looked better when they got rid of that. The early Cateras had that the whole red stripe that went across the whole back of the car. Kind of like an old Mercury Sable,
Yeah,
that's not good. It's not very Cadillac looking.
So anyway, the Alpha would continue. Let's see, where else would it go? I think those are the two big... they also said Saturn would get a new rear-wheel drive Alpha-based sedan.
Really?
Which, yeah, God, if you give Saturn another car, it's going to be competing with Chevy pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a brand that just keeps growing.
So, but we're assuming, we already know that Pontiac isn't making an entire move over to rear-wheel drive. I mean, they're trying to get that whole performance infusion going on. But the G8 is going to be rear-wheel drive. The new G6 is going to be rear-wheel drive. Mm-hmm. What else is in the lineup?
Well, I mean, right now we have the G5, which is obviously a Cobalt. What else do we got? We still have the front-wheel drivers, like the...
G6, yeah.
The G6 now.
Pontiac will get a new GTO. That'll be rear drive. Okay.
I actually think that the long-term strategy is to reduce Pontiac to like a stable of 3 cars.
And make them all kick ass.
And make them all rear-wheel drive
really, really smart move. Yeah, there should be no base Pontiac with like some fromage, Pansy engine. All the Pontiac should be performance cars.
No freaking minivans. It's smart because they've taken Saturn and they've made Saturn like a 3/4 full-line automaker, or full-line brand. And you have Saturn going gangbusters right now. And before, they were trying to make Pontiac that. They were trying to make Pontiac this like... I'll sell a version of everything, and we'll just, say we build excitement, and everybody will buy into it. No, Pontiac should be the one with 3 cars.
Yep. Pontiac should have no SUV. There should be no minivan, which they don't have that anymore. Well, you don't like the Torrent, Alex? Come on. No. I actually like the Torrent more than the Equinox. I think it's nicer looking inside. But that said, there's no point to having that. It's ridiculous. And that Pontiac G5 is an egregious... No, don't even get me started on that thing.
Saturn for so long was 2 cars, right?
Right.
Yeah, the LS and the SL and the LS.
Yeah. And the SC.
And then and Pontiac had 5 or 6 cars.
Right.
Now they're getting smart and they're focusing on what the image of these brands is. You know, Saturn has such goodwill with families, not really but like up and coming families. Like just got out of college and I want something kind of cool but kind of responsible. That's what Saturn is becoming, and you can stretch that across so many different types of cars. You can't do that with performance. Pontiac should be 3 cars: GTO,
Solstice,
G8, GX. Ooh, Solstice too. Yeah. I mean, as long as you keep them performance, but there's no need to have 7 Pontiacs anymore. So I'm fine with that. And I think a rear-wheel drive G6 would be quite exciting because that would be my price range. It would be fun.
Well, speaking of the Chevy's dwindling lineup, we got word this week that Chevy's going to be canceling the Cobalt SS, the supercharged model, for the 2008 model year, which, have you guys driven one of these yet? No.
I've never driven a Cobalt SS or SS Supercharged.
Yeah, I was surprised the first time. I mean, the interior's crap and the handling wasn't quite as great as great as some of its competitors. But surprisingly, it was actually a pretty fun ride. Like I said, the steering it was kind of mushy. But handling-wise, it was actually better than I thought it was going to be, and acceleration was pretty cool. So I'm kind of disappointed to see it go, but at the same time, this platform has been around for how long now?
Pretty long time.
Pretty long time, yeah.
And I don't know if you made it clear before, but they're just canceling the SS.
Just the SS, right? Which we
the SS will remain.
The SS being used for different models now. They were going to really kind of pare it back with the SS models to make. Yeah, they're going to have a set of criteria that determine if an SS badge gets applied to something.
Yeah, I don't think they are. I think they're still going to apply it liberally. I mean,
they just took it away from the joke SS Cobalt.
Yeah, but they're going to put it on the HHR.
Yeah, but the HHR is going to have balls.
Well, if the only thing that makes an SS is stuffing a big engine. Or
my understanding is there's going to be, I think, a performance criteria, and I think braking also. So I look for the. I've
also seen spy shots of a Tahoe SS.
No, that's just wrong.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They need to stop. No, see, that's well, no, this was covered a while ago. I remember we talked about this. I mean, I talked to Ed Keeper about this at Detroit, and I mentioned to them. I asked them. I said, "I don't know what that says," and he totally said that yes, it's completely diluted, and we have to change that.
That's fine, but I don't think it's going to mean I don't think they're going to get SS to mean as much as, let's say, SRT or SVT did.
Well, if they do it right.
I still think it's going to be diluted.
I don't know. I disagree. The fact that they're taking the SS off of this stuff that should never have had it in the first place.
They're putting it. I mean, yeah, it is, but I don't think it's a good sign that they're making an HHR SS. Even if you could do all that, it's.
But what if the HHR SS is good? See, we're throwing the HHR SS under the bus. I have to assume that the HHR SS is going to be pretty
First
impressive.
of all, I've driven a regular HHR, and it is a piece of crap.
Yes, no.
It is rental car junk.
Yes.
It looks cool, but that's just the way the sheet metal's, folded, and that's all. It's cheap on the inside, and every inch of it feels that way. And to make a high-performance model, you're taking the 2-liter Ecotec direct injection engine, and you're plopping it into the HHR, and you're calling it an SS. And yeah, it's going to get braking. But if that's all the SS is taking this turbo 2-liter Ecotec engine and dropping it in any car you want, and calling it SS, it should be reserved for, like, when the rear-wheel drive Impala comes out. That gets an SS. It should be reserved for something that has, I don't know, a better pretext for performance than the high heritage roof econo rental car, in my opinion. And I don't